Hi, I'm Ollie from Your Guitar Academy and we're working with the Guitar magazine to bring you this lesson on how to play Sultans of Swing. In this video we're going to be looking at how to play the outro solo and it sounds like this. So just get a backing track going and I'll play over it. Okay, so the way we're going to look at this solo is we're going to look at how he is playing over the chords of the backing. So the chords that we're playing over are which is D minor, quickly onto C, down to B flat for 2 bars, and then it's 2 bars of C. Okay, and for the majority of this solo, what he's doing is when it's going from the D minor down to the B flat, he's usually playing something from D minor pentatonic, and then when it goes to the C, he's playing something from C major pentatonic, because it's playing C major there. And then the outro, it follows the chords even more exactly. So this first lick, okay, all we're doing here is shape 1, D minor pentatonic. Okay, that very familiar shape. And we're on the G string, 12th fret, full bend. And then back down. It is like a pre-bend and release, but it's not from the bend on that second note. So it's bend up, and then down to the 12th fret, with a very slight pre-bend that we're pulling down. And then 10, and then hammer onto 12, and then back down to 10 again. So altogether it's... Okay, do that a bit more slowly. All right, and then the chord changes to a C major, so we're going to start playing notes from C major pentatonic. So cleverly starting on the same note, and then it sounds like this. Okay. So what we're doing there is we start with that same bend, 12th fret on the G string, and full bend up, and then back down. And then we've got this run. Okay, and these are all notes from the C major pentatonic. We're crossing through a few shapes here, so I'll just tell you the frets. So what we're always doing is hammering on from playing the lowest note, hammering on to the high note, and then pulling off back to the lower note. So the first one is 9 on the G string and up to the 12 on the G string. And then we come down to 7 to 9. Same string, 5 to 7. And then we switch to the D string, 5 to 7. And then we go to the A string, 5 to 7. So altogether we get... Okay, and a bit faster it's... All right. So make sure with your hammer on to pull offs that your hammer on is clear, nice and loud, and your pull off is light and loud as well. They should all be the same volume. You don't want sort of that sort of thing where it gets quieter. That means you need to hammer on a bit harder and pull off a bit more clearly as well. Okay, and then the chords go back to a D minor, so we're going back into D minor pentatonic, and we've got this lick. Okay, and now we're into shape 5 of the minor pentatonic, so we've got... Okay, and the notes we're on is B string, 10th fret, pull off to the 8th fret, and then it's coming down to the G string, 10th fret, and then back up to the 8th fret on the B string, and then back down to the 10th fret on the G. Okay? And then we're coming down on the G string to the 7th fret, and then back up to the 10th fret on the G string. So all together is, okay? And so it's a pull off, and then everything else is picked, okay? And because we're using, we're not using a pick, we're using our fingers and thumbs here, you can pick the first note with your finger, and then as you're crossing strings, you can use your thumb for the lower string and your finger for the higher string. So you can get that quite quick change, which would be really hard to do with a pick actually. Okay, so that's that lick. And then the chords go back to a C. And so we are using a C major pentatonic. And now into shape 2. And the lick sounds like this. Okay. And it's sort of got a lead in lick here. And then it's that run down. So we'll look at that little lead in first. On the G string, sliding up to the 9th fret with your middle finger, and then use your index finger, so your index finger will be in position there on the B string, on the 8th fret, and then 10th fret on the B string, so hammer on, pull off, and then back down to the 9th fret on the G string. And then we've got this sort of rundown, which is just running down that major pentatonic scale, starting on the 8th fret of the high E string, down to the 10th fret on the B, pull off to the 8th fret on the B, and then the 9th fret on the G string. Okay, and what I'm doing here is I'm picking that first note with my index finger, and then thumb on the B string, pull off, gives my thumb time to get down to the G string, and I play that again, so. Okay, and that's one that you're really just gonna have to practice slowly at first. So it's 4 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you've got to make sure that's really even sounding. You don't want anything where your sort of speed going too fast or too slow on the pull-offs, like something like that. That's going to be really difficult to get up to speed. But if you focus on taking it slow to begin with, getting it really even, make sure you are doing that pull-off, not trying to pick it or anything, and that you're using the right fingers. You'll then be able to speed it up. The only other thing that I'm doing there is I'm doing a little bar on the top 2 strings with my index finger on the 8th fret. So that way I'm not having to sort of jump around. Okay, so all together that lick is. All right, so then the chords go back to D minor, and we're back into shape 1 of D minor pentatonic, and the lick sounds like this. Okay, which is quite a fast lick there, but we're going to, because we're not using the pick, we're going to take advantage of being able to play cross strings more quickly, and it becomes a bit simpler. So what we're doing at the beginning is we've got this sort of Chuck Berry rock and roll lick. So we're starting on the 12th fret of the G string, full bend, and then index finger to play the 10th fret on the B string and on the E string. And what I'm doing here is I'm picking that with my thumb, the G string, and then I'm picking the B string with my thumb, and I'm picking the E string with my index finger. And then after that we've got this bit here. So we're coming down to the 13th fret on the B string, pull off to the 10th fret on the B string, and then down to the 12th fret on the G string, and then we're back up to the 10th fret on the B string. Okay, bit slower, that's. And then we've got, which is 12th fret on the G, and then pull off to the 10, and then down to the 12th fret on the D string. Okay, so I'll play that all a bit more slowly. Okay, so at this point here, you're crossing back up a string, use your thumb on the G string, and then use your index finger to pick the B string, and then use your thumb again to pick the G string again, and then do the pull off, and then use your thumb again to pick the D string, 12th fret. Okay, because what we're getting there is, if you're using your thumb and then your index finger to play two adjacent strings, you can be more efficient than if you were trying to use a pick. Okay, and then after that we've got this. And again, we're going to take advantage of having more than one way to pick the strings. So, start with your thumb, picking the D string, 10th fret, with your index finger. Hammer on to the 12th fret with your middle finger, and then 10th fret on the G string, and it's going to be 10th fret on the B as well. Use your index finger to pick the G string, middle finger to pick the B string, and on your left hand, fret them both with your index finger, so you get a little bar there. And then the last note is that, it's the 12th fret on the G string. So altogether we've got, okay, again, one more time. Okay, so that's quite a speedy lick. It's definitely another one just to take your time with. Make sure you're playing it in the right sort of timing that you're going for before starting to increase the tempo. And then after that, we've got this, it's like a melodic part that leads us into the fast part at the end. So it sounds like this. Okay, so the notes are 10th fret on the B string, 11th fret on the B string, and then it's a full bend up. And then while you're holding that bend, play the 12th fret on the E string, and then release that bend, but pick that note again so you can hear the note come back down. And then you're also going to play after that the 10th fret on the E string. So effectively what we're doing here is we're going from the 6 to the flat 7 of the C dominant chord, and then you're bending it up to the root, and then we're catching the major third up here, and then down to the second. So altogether we've got, okay. And in terms of picking, I'm using my thumb to play the B string, and I'm using my index finger to pick notes on the E string. And there's also this little sort of muted part just before. I'm using my index finger on my left hand just to hold the D string and the G string muted, and then I'm very quickly picking with my thumb on the D string, and then my index finger on the G, and then my middle finger is playing the actual note that I want to hear, so I'm getting this. Okay, so the way I'm having to play this then is use my middle finger on my left hand to fret both of those notes. And then I do the full bend. Bring it back down, and then my index finger is then free to play the 10th fret on the high E string. So altogether it is. Okay. So the next lick is the really sort of iconic part of this solo. Sounds like this. All right. And so this really closely follows the chords. All right. So we'll just look at it per chord. So the first chord, D minor, we're getting notes from the D minor pentatonic shape 1. Okay, and the first note is 13th fret on the high E string, pull off to the 10th fret on the E string, and then 10th fret on the B, and then back up to the 10th fret on the E. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then the next chord is B flat. And what we're doing here is we're taking notes from B flat major arpeggio. Okay, you can think of that as your shape 4. And then for the C, we just do the same shape, but we're moving it 2 frets up to get from B flat to C. Okay, so the notes in the B flat one are 11th fret on the B string, then 10th fret on the E string, then 13th fret on the E string. And as we go up to the C, the frets are B string, 13, E string 12, E string 15. Okay, so let's just look at the sort of the mechanics of playing that. So it starts off with your little finger playing the 13th fret on the E string, pull off to the 10th fret, and then you're going to use, so use your middle finger to play that first note. Okay, middle finger, 13th fret, pull off to the 10th fret, thumb to play 10th fret on the B string, and then next time you get up to the 10th fret on the E string, it's going to be your index finger on your right hand. So middle finger, pull off, thumb, index. That's going to allow you to quickly play, because as you loop it, you're going to go from the 10th fret up to the 13th in quick succession, and it gives it that percussive sound that's on the record. I don't think you want to have a hammer on and pull off. That is easier to do, but it doesn't sound quite right. So again, starting middle finger, 13th fret, pull off to the 10th fret, thumb to play 10th fret on the B string, and then index finger to play the 10th fret on the E string. Okay, that same sort of picking pattern applies to the other ones, because it's always 2 notes on the E string, 1 note on the B string. Okay, so initially, just practice them individually. Okay, but then what you have to do is put them together. So it's going to change, it sort of changes, it leads in to the next one. So on the very last of the 4 D minor ones, we switch. So we come from the 10th fret on the B string up to the 11th fret. So that last time round is the next chord. And we can stop there. And then okay, and because the chords spend twice or longer on the C major, we spend longer on the C major up here as well. And this one leads into it, so you start with your thumb. Okay, so it starts off. Okay, I'll do that more slowly. Okay, and that whole bit goes around twice. Okay, so that is almost certainly the most challenging part of this solo, just because of how fast it is, and for a lot of people that are used to using a pick, it's going to be quite a different technique. So again, just take it really slowly, slow enough that you can be watching that your right hand is doing what you want it to do, and then when it is sort of doing that, starting to do that automatically, that's when you can take the speed up. Okay, so the last lick, it's sort of a fade out lick. Okay, so it's the same idea. Over the D minor, we're playing some stuff from shape 2, D minor pentatonic. We're right up now on the 15th fret of the high E string, full bend. Pick and release again. Down to the 13th, and then hammer on, and then back down to the 13th, and then 15th fret on the B string. So really, it's very similar to the intro of the solo, but just an octave higher. Okay, and then same idea, as it goes to C, we're going to switch to C major pentatonic, shape 4. So we do that bend again, 15, back down, and then this time it's going to the 12th fret on the E string, and it's this hammer on pull off thing again. So it's 12 to 15. And then next string, it's going to be, because we're just taking notes from the pentatonic scale, 13 to the 15. And then it's a position shift. So we're doing 10th fret to the 13th, still pentatonic notes. And then we're down to the G string, 12 to 14. And then there is a 12 to 14 off the D string as well. And then by then, it's sort of faded out. So that's the sort of the outro of the solo. Okay. So that is the outro solo from Sultans of Swing. So have fun practicing that, and I'll do another playthrough now so you can hear how it sounds all together. So I'll get this backing track on. Okay. So thanks for watching and have fun with that one.